Let's look at reality. Ultimately, reality is merely an illusion that is made up of all the different experiences that you have. So that's the first idea. So reality, you're using the experiences that you have to form a vision of it. So this is me when I was 5. As a young kid, I was already extremely interested in news and also barbecue, two of my strong activities. And as you know, at such a young age, you are an activity seeker because you're building your vision of reality. And for me, what it meant, being born in the 80s, that was extremely interested by technology because new technology were integrated and were showed from time to time. So it was a super opportunity for me to go on a journey to find the ultimate medium. One that will give me opportunity to live cool experiences, to broaden my imagination. So it all started up with the 9mm or the 8mm projector. So as you all know, some of you have seen that device, have used it. It's really nice because you get to capture reality and show it on the screen. The issue is, the image that comes out feels more like a distant dream. It's shaky, it's a little bit grainy, it's like a postcard. Now, the next medium that I came across that I really liked was this medium. And I knew it was going to start a lot of smile in you because a lot of people have experimented with that medium. You know, why? Because it was cheap, because it was easy to use, because also the image that came out was in 3 dimensions. You could see things with volume. Unfortunately, there was no sound, there was no movement, so the replayability of the content was limited. Now, the next device that I came across and the next opportunity was the promise of 3D movies. You know, I still remember the excitement of going to the movie theater for the first time, putting the glasses on, you know, red and blue, and then sitting in the couch and waiting for the action to start. Only to, after 10 minutes, feeling slightly disappointed by the immersion, by the image. I mean, it didn't feel real. It felt like bizarre, like somebody was trying to push an idea on me and it didn't feel immersed. So the next medium I had the chance to try was this device. It was introduced in 1996 by a company called Nintendo. It was supposed to revolutionize the way we consume games, the way we do entertainment. Now, it's also a device that was known to make you sick after 10 minutes. Not only because you had to lean forward to look at the image, but because, as you can see, the quality of the image is not really there. So the next thing that I've tried was disappointment. So for many years, you know, I've stopped looking for the ultimate medium. I mean, a lot of new things were introduced, but none of them really touched me personally. So I ended up doing a very normal career. I went to business school, I joined a student organization, I ended up working for a big technology company, for consultancy. Today, I'm still advising technology startups. So that gives me a unique chance to follow technology and know where the trends are going. And then something happened. In 2013, I came across this device, an early version of the Oculus Rift. For the first time, a device was introduced, a consumer version of virtual reality, one that you and I could approach that was actually practical. And this is what happened. To me, it was the closest thing to magic. Really close, because all the dreams that I had, all the vision, all the things that I wanted to experience through a device finally came together in one medium. And that was, for me, absolutely extraordinary. And to understand that, you have to be in virtual reality. You have to have the feeling to be transported somewhere else, to have the freedom of movement, to have the freedom of using your interface the way you want, of creating, of trying things. It's extremely liberating, and it puts you in a totally different mode than traditional reality. The medium itself becomes the reality. And that's what's extremely unique about the medium itself. Now, how is it achieved? Well, there's really 3 things that come together to achieve that experience within virtual reality. The first thing is it gives you interaction. That means you get to interact with the environment. When you pick a tool or a virtual object and you move around with it, you're able to interact with the environment. Something happens with that object. So that contributes to the immersion. Another thing is the great sense of autonomy. You get to decide how you look and what you look. When you watch a movie, the size of the screen is always this thing. That means whoever made the movie has decided to only show you that part of the picture. With virtual reality, you get to decide where you look. You have the autonomy of your decisions in consuming the medium. I'll give you one example. I was given the opportunity to watch a video about Barack Obama talking in the Oval Office. So it's really good because you're sitting next to him, he's talking to you there, you see him in 3D, you have a conversation with him. So as I was there and then listening to him, a detail of the room just sort of took me, and rather than listen to him, I was looking around the room and I realized, oh my God, the Oval Office is oval. So until you try it, until you have been in an oval room, you have no idea what an oval room is. And so that a medium is trying to tell you one message, and you have the autonomy to give another message to the medium. That is extremely powerful, and that is the power of VR. And then there's the last point, is really the ability to give you presence. Now, what is presence? Presence is a simple feeling of here and now. You're all here in Antwerp, and you're now listening to me. This is presence. Now, to show you the power of presence, let's watch a quick video. So this is five-time world champion Ronnie O'Sullivan, and he's been put in virtual reality for the first time ever. So he knows nothing about the medium. He has no enthusiasm about it. He's just being put there. So after a while, he's learning to use the medium. He's been taught what to use. So he's about to take his first shot. He's preparing himself, and then boom. He falls flat to the ground. Now, why did he fall flat to the ground? Well, because for him, virtual reality was reality. He was experiencing presence. So as he was about to take his shot, as he usually do, he was leaning forward. He knows he needs to put his balance on the table before taking the shots. And his brain got tricked into believing the table in front of him was real. That is the power of the medium, and that's why it's so amazing. So I need a volunteer. Hopefully somebody that has not yet tried virtual reality, and somebody that's afraid of animals. So please, raise your hands. You were the first one to raise. Please come in. Woo! So whatever happens in VR, you'll be fine. We also have called animal control, so if something goes wrong, we know how to control the beast. So don't be afraid. She will all be fine. Okay. There you go. Hopefully we should be able to switch the image. There we go. That is the magic of the medium. I mean, there's some other electronics behind it, but it was a screen in front of her face. Just like any of the other screen I've seen or I've experienced, or you have yourself experienced, it was a screen. Now, when internet was introduced, the promise was to democratize information. With virtual reality, the promise is to democratize experiences. And she just lived an experience she will remember for the rest of their life. Now, a lot of you probably have lots of dreams, like going into space or even flying. Well, virtual reality can offer you such experiences simply by going to a headset and from the comfort of your home, fly like a bird. That is the power of the medium. Also, social media and social networks have made a promise for a long time to keep people closer, to allow people to talk with one another and to interact with one another. But ultimately, there's still some distances. Still, we're not necessarily able to share experiences together. And what virtual reality allows you to do is to transcend distances and live joint experiences with your friends, things that you can live and remember together. Another very interesting point is personal development and therapy. A lot of people are working on themselves, on improving themselves, and they have a lot to do to imagine certain situations or certain activity that they need to overcome. Well, in virtual reality, you can plunge people in certain situations and have them work on themselves through the comfort of a simulation. And it's been known that virtual reality helps people with afraid of height to overcome their fear. Another very interesting point is education. For a very long time, education has been the same. Yet it's been proven that experiential learning is much more effective than traditional learning methods. So if you put a student in a classroom and rather than telling him about dinosaurs, you have him live for a few hours amongst dinosaurs, he's going to be much more likely to remember what they eat, how they live, and how they behave as animals. Much better ways of learning and activities. Now, ultimately, the promise of cinema was to immerse people in the action. There's this legend that when people saw this image for the first time in a movie theater, they were so afraid that they left the room because they were afraid the train would run them over. Now, we all know it's a legend, but with virtual reality, we're much more closer to that promise, where people really feel the action, they really immerse in what they see and what they live. So ultimately, this is me. I mean, the child in me is still there. I still have that energy. I'm using that passion and that discovery I've made to help support the Belgian virtual reality community, to help entrepreneurs expand across Europe. And I was also recently able to influence the political agenda of the Brussels region to make virtual reality a priority. Now, I want to leave you all with one thought, that if you can accept that reality is influenced by your experiences and that virtual reality can offer you experiences, then virtual reality can influence our reality. Thank you.